Have you ever stood up a little too quickly and felt a momentary wave of dizziness? Or perhaps you've noticed, when you retired, that your balance isn't quite what it used to be. Maybe you've seen a new web of tiny veins on your ankles and dismissed it as just another part of getting older. That's not just aging, that is your body sending you a signal, a quiet whisper. A warning that something deeper is happening within your circulatory system, your body's intricate network of rivers and streams that carries life to every cell. And there is one place, a place you visit every single day, where these whispers can turn into a sudden, life-altering shout. I'm Dr. Claire Mitchell. For over 25 years, as a specialist in geriatric medicine, I've dedicated my life to understanding the unique challenges of the aging body. And I've seen firsthand how the simplest, most trusted daily routines can harbor the most profound risks. We're not talking about obvious dangers like smoking or a diet high in processed foods. We're talking about something far more insidious. We're talking about your shower. That's right. That warm, comforting, private ritual could be the very thing silently setting the stage for a stroke, a fall, or a cardiac event. The way you control the temperature, the time of day you step in, the way you move. Even the medications you took just an hour before each is a variable in a complex equation that changes dramatically after the age of 60. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on this everyday habit. I will guide you, step by step, through the 9 most common and dangerous showering mistakes I see in my patients. We will explore the hidden science of how a simple stream of water can affect your blood pressure, your oxygen levels, and the formation of dangerous blood clots. This isn't about fear. This is about knowledge. The kind of knowledge that transforms vulnerability into strength, the kind that empowers you to protect your health, your independence, and your future. So please, stay with me. What you learn in the next few minutes might be the most important health conversation you have this year. And if you find this information valuable, do me a small favor and press that like button. It tells YouTube that this is a message worth sharing, and it helps our community grow. For so many of them, a hot shower first thing in the morning is more than just a way to get clean. It's a ritual. It's the comforting warmth that coaxes stiff joints into motion, the steam that clears our heads, the signal to our body that a new day has begun. We've done it for 30, 40, perhaps 50 years without a second thought. But as your doctor, as your partner in health, I need to share a truth that might be unsettling. For a body over 60, this trusted ritual can become a daily, silent trauma to your brain. What feels like a gentle awakening on the outside can be creating a perfect storm for a stroke on the inside. Here is precisely what is happening within your body's delicate ecosystem. The moment you wake up, your body is in a state of transition. After 8 hours of lying horizontally, your circulatory system is still in a low-power mode. When you stand up, gravity pulls blood down into your legs, causing a natural, temporary drop in blood pressure. This is called orthostatic hypotension. Now, imagine stepping immediately into a hot, steamy shower. The heat causes the blood vessels in your skin, your body's largest organ, to rapidly dilate or widen. Think of it like opening hundreds of tiny floodgates. This is your body's attempt to release heat and cool itself down. But in doing so, it diverts a massive amount of blood flow away from your core and, most critically, away from your brain. So now you have 2 powerful forces working against you: the initial drop in blood pressure from standing up, compounded by a massive rerouting of blood to your skin. For a younger person with resilient, elastic arteries, the body compensates in a heartbeat. But for an older adult, especially if you have even mild hypertension, stiffened arteries, or are taking blood pressure medication, your body's response is slower, less efficient. The result? The blood flow to your brain can drop to a dangerously low level. It's a state of temporary hypoxia, a silent starvation of oxygen. You might feel it as a slight dizziness, a moment of lightheadedness you quickly dismiss. But inside your brain, in the delicate capillaries where life-giving oxygen is exchanged, a crisis is unfolding. When blood flow becomes slow and turbulent, the risk of a blood clot forming skyrockets. These clots, tiny as they are, can get lodged in arteries that have already been narrowed by years of plaque buildup. When that happens, the blood flow is cut off completely. Brain cells begin to die within minutes. This is an ischemic stroke. And it can happen in the time it takes to wash your hair, with the warm, comforting water as the only witness. I will never forget a patient of mine, Mr. Arthur Penhaligon, a 78-year-old retired history professor from Vermont, a man of brilliant intellect and fierce independence. His wife brought him to the hospital after finding him slumped on his shower bench, confused, his speech a jumble of disconnected words. He hadn't fallen. He hadn't felt any pain, yet every sign pointed to a major neurological event. The scans confirmed a stroke in his left temporal lobe, the area of the brain responsible for language. As we pieced together his morning, the culprit became chillingly clear. For 50 years, Arthur had woken at 6 a.m. and by 6:05, he was in a scalding hot shower. He saw it as a sign of his discipline. But for his aging cardiovascular system, it was a daily gamble. We think of strokes as catastrophic, lightning bolt events, and they can be. But many are the final, tragic outcome of thousands of tiny, seemingly innocent habits. A hot shower on waking is one of the most common. The damage is invisible, cumulative until the one day it isn't. So, what is the solution? It is simple yet profound. You must honor the transition from sleep to wakefulness. Give your body time. When you wake, sit on the edge of your bed for a full minute. Let your blood pressure stabilize. Drink a glass of room temperature water. This rehydrates your body and gently nudges your circulatory system awake. Wait at least 30 minutes before you even think about showering. And when you do, adjust the temperature. The goal is warm, not hot. It should be comfortable, never shocking. These small acts of patience are not a concession to age. They are acts of wisdom. They are how you protect your memories, your voice, your very independence. Because the body doesn't bounce back at 70 the way it did at 30. And one smart choice, first thing in the morning, can make all the difference. But the temperature isn't the only danger. In fact, what many people do to invigorate themselves can be an even greater shock to the heart and brain. Let's talk about the hidden risk of cold water. There's a growing trend. A piece of wellness advice you might have heard from a health guru, or even a well-meaning friend: end your shower with a blast of cold water. It's said to boost circulation, sharpen the mind, and build resilience. It sounds powerful, virtuous even. A way to fight back against the creeping frailties of age. But what if I told you that for an older adult, this seemingly healthy habit could be like playing Russian roulette with your cardiovascular system? What feels invigorating to a 30-year-old can be a violent shock to a 70-year-old heart, potentially triggering a stroke, a heart attack, or sudden cardiac arrest. Let's go back inside the body and understand why. When you expose your skin to a sudden, intense cold, your body initiates a powerful survival response called vasoconstriction. Your peripheral blood vessels clamp down dramatically. Think of it as the drawbridge of a castle being pulled up in an emergency. The body is desperately trying to pull blood away from the surface to protect your core temperature. This sudden clamping down of hundreds of thousands of tiny blood vessels causes a violent, instantaneous spike in your blood pressure. Your heart, which was calmly pumping blood through open channels, is now forced to slam that same amount of blood against a wall of resistance. For someone over 60, whose arteries may already be stiff and whose heart muscle may not be as strong, this pressure surge can be catastrophic. It can cause an unstable plaque deposit in a coronary artery to rupture, leading to a heart attack. It can throw your heart's electrical rhythm into chaos, causing an arrhythmia. And most relevant to our conversation, it can create such intense turbulence in the bloodstream that it either forms a new blood clot or dislodges an existing one, sending it on a direct path to your brain. This is how a moment of intended self-care becomes a medical emergency. I saw this devastating reality with a patient, Mrs. Eleanor Vance, a spirited 82-year-old grandmother from Wisconsin who was determined to stay active. She'd read about the benefits of cold therapy and began ending her warm showers with a 30-second cold rinse. For a few weeks, she felt fantastic, energized. But one cold January morning, as the icy water hit her chest, she felt a sudden, crushing pressure. She gasped, collapsed, and thankfully, her husband heard the fall. In the emergency room, we discovered she had suffered a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, a mini stroke. A small clot had briefly blocked a cerebral artery. Her heart rhythm was also dangerously irregular. The combination was undeniable: the sudden shock of cold water, the body's already higher blood pressure in the early morning, and her age had created a perfect storm. When I explained this to her, her eyes filled with tears. "I thought I was making myself stronger," she whispered. "I had no idea I was pushing my heart to the brink." And that is the quiet tragedy I see so often. So many seniors, armed with the best intentions, are unknowingly gambling with their health because they don't realize that the rules of the game have changed. The aging cardiovascular system has lost its tolerance for extremes. What was once refreshing is now a risk. What felt like a challenge is now a shock. This is especially true in the winter months when your core body temperature is naturally lower. If you enjoy cooler showers, that's perfectly fine. But the transition must be gradual. Never ever go from hot to icy cold. Ease into it over a minute or two. And if you have any history of high blood pressure, arrhythmia, or have ever felt dizzy upon standing, cold showers should be avoided entirely. These are not signs of weakness. They are red flags from a body that is communicating its limits. Please listen to those signals. Because in that single moment of shock, as the cold water takes your breath away and your heart begins to pound, a silent battle is being waged inside your arteries. A battle that determines whether you walk out of that bathroom to live another day, or become another statistic. Mrs. Vance was lucky. She now takes gentle walks and enjoys warm, not hot showers. She traded her cold rinses for a long, healthy life. A wise exchange, indeed. Now, we've discussed hot and cold. But what if the temperature is perfect? What if the timing, something we rarely ever consider, is the most dangerous factor of all? The next habit is one of the most overlooked, and one of the most critical to understand. It seems so practical, so efficient. You finish a lovely breakfast, clear the dishes, and head straight for the shower. It's a seamless transition in a well-ordered day. But in the quiet moments after you eat, a profound biological process is underway. And interrupting it with a shower can be one of the most hazardous things an older adult can do. Here's what's happening. After a meal, your body's autonomic nervous system shifts its resources. It directs a massive amount of blood flow up to 25 phen of N/m of your heart's output to your stomach and intestines. This is a critical process called postprandial blood redistribution. Your digestive system needs this surge of blood to break down food, absorb nutrients, and fuel the complex machinery of metabolism. For a young, healthy person, this internal shift is barely noticeable. But for someone over 60, whose circulatory system is less nimble, this redirection of blood can leave other vital organs, including your brain, temporarily undersupplied. Think of your body's blood supply as a city's power grid. After a meal, all the power is being sent to the factory district for production. That means less power is available for the residential areas, including the main headquarters, your brain. Now, imagine what happens when you step into a warm shower during this vulnerable period. As we've discussed, the warm water causes vasodilation, pulling even more blood to the surface of your skin. So now you have a tug of war for blood supply. The digestive system is demanding it, the skin is demanding it, and the brain is left with a dangerously reduced share. Combine this with standing upright in a steamy, often poorly ventilated room, and you have created a recipe for disaster. The potential for a sudden, dramatic drop in blood pressure is immense. The result can be dizziness, fainting, and falls, but it can also be far worse. In this state of low cerebral blood flow, the risk of an ischemic stroke caused by a blood clot is significantly heightened. I remember a patient, a wonderful 80-year-old gentleman named Mr. Hattie Reynolds, a retired church volunteer. His life was built on routine and service. Every morning, he'd have his oatmeal at 7:30 and be in the shower by 8:00 sharp. One morning, his wife heard a heavy thud. She found him unconscious on the bathroom floor. Paramedics were able to revive him, but the damage was done. A CT scan confirmed he'd suffered a mild stroke. A clot, likely formed due to the severely reduced circulation, had traveled to his brain. He survived, but a part of his vibrant spirit was stolen that day. His speech is now slower, his right hand carries a slight tremor. And he is haunted by the fact that this life-changing event was caused by something as simple as showering too soon after breakfast. His story is a powerful lesson for all of them. After a meal, your body needs one thing above all else at time. It does not need the stress of heat, steam, or standing. The rule is simple, non-negotiable, and could save your life. Wait at least 45 to 60 minutes after any significant meal before taking a shower. Use that time to sit, to hydrate with a glass of water, to allow your digestive system to do its vital work without competition. If you feel tired after eating, that is a direct signal from your body that it needs to rest, not be challenged. Listen to that signal. You cannot see the silent battle for blood flow being waged inside your body, but it is real. And by respecting this fundamental biological process, you are actively protecting your brain from the conditions that breed confusion, collapse, and catastrophe. But timing isn't just about meals. It's also about what's under your feet and the very air you breathe. The next two risks are so common, so integrated into the design of our homes, that we've become blind to them. And they are contributing to thousands of preventable falls and neurological events every year. There is a silent conspiracy in almost every bathroom in America. It's a conspiracy between hard, slick surfaces and the inevitable presence of water. The smooth porcelain of the bathtub, the glossy ceramic tile on the floor, these materials, when wet, become an environment as treacherous as a patch of black ice. For an older adult, this isn't an inconvenience, it's a profound and persistent threat. Most people associate strokes with internal factors, a clot, a bleed. But a fall is a violent, external event that can directly trigger a stroke. When an older person falls, the impact can cause a sudden jolt to the brain, leading to a concussion or worse, a cerebral hemorrhage if a blood vessel ruptures. Furthermore, the sheer physical and emotional stress of a fall, the surge of adrenaline, the spike in blood pressure can cause an existing, stable plaque in an artery to break loose. That dislodged plaque can then travel to the brain and cause a blockage. And so, a simple slip becomes a life-altering stroke. I think of Mr. William Turner, an 82-year-old veteran, a man who had built his own home and prided himself on his self-reliance. One morning, stepping into his tub, his foot slid. He reached out for something to grab, but there was only a smooth, tiled wall. He fell backward, his head striking the edge of the tub. He didn't lose consciousness, But when he tried to stand, his left leg wouldn't respond. A neighbor found him hours later. At the hospital, we learned the fall had caused not only a severe concussion, but had also precipitated a stroke in the right hemisphere of his brain. The life he knew, the independence he cherished, ended in that moment. Here is a truth we must all confront: our balance system degrades with age. The delicate crystals in our inner ear become less reliable. Our muscles react more slowly. Our reflexes are dulled, and many medications, from blood pressure pills to sleep aids, can further impair our stability. One misstep is all it takes. The tragedy is that this is so utterly preventable. Installing grab bars is not a sign of surrender, it is a declaration of control. A non-slip mat in the tub and a bath mat with a rubber backing on the floor are not mere accessories. They are essential pieces of medical equipment for anyone over 65. A shower chair isn't for the infirm, it's for the wise. We would never send a child out into a snowstorm without a coat. Why do we allow our beloved elders to navigate a wet, slippery environment without support? Falls are the leading cause of traumatic brain injury in seniors, and they are the gateway to a loss of independence. But what if the floor is safe? What if you are seated securely? There is another invisible danger, one that most people never consider. It's in the very air you breathe. A long, hot, steamy shower feels like a comforting embrace. But in a small, enclosed bathroom without proper ventilation, that comforting steam is displacing something vital: oxygen. As the steam fills the room, the oxygen concentration in the air drops. You begin to breathe more shallowly without even realizing it. You feel warm, relaxed, perhaps a little drowsy. But your brain is feeling something else entirely: hypoxia, a lack of oxygen. As we age, our lungs are less efficient, and our heart has to work harder to circulate oxygenated blood. If you have an underlying condition like COPD or congestive heart failure, your tolerance for low oxygen environments is near zero. Even for a healthy senior, this can be enough to trigger confusion, dizziness, and dangerously, a transient ischemic attack TIA. Those TIAs are not benign, they are warnings. They are the tremors before the earthquake. I treated a patient, a former choir director named Mrs. Elaine Foster, who was experiencing morning brain fog and occasional slurred speech. She feared she was developing dementia. After a full workup, we found nothing wrong until I asked about her shower routine. She loved a long, steamy shower in her small, windowless bathroom, with no fan. She was, in effect, putting herself in a low-oxygen chamber every morning. We made two simple changes. She cracked the bathroom door open and cut her shower time in half. Within a week, her neurological symptoms vanished. I thought my mind was failing, she told me, but it was just suffocating. Please, take this seriously. Keep the fan on. Open a window, even just a crack. Leave the door ajar. You are not just clearing steam, you are protecting your brain. We have covered so much, from temperature to timing to the environment itself. But the next set of risks are about how you move within that environment and how even the simplest, most automatic actions can become perilous. For decades, you've bent over to pick up a dropped bar of soap, twisted to scrub your back, or stood for long stretches without a second thought. These are automatic movements, ingrained in muscle memory. But in an aging body, these once harmless actions can trigger a cascade of events that can end in disaster. Let's start with standing still. It seems like the most passive act imaginable. Yet, for an older adult standing in a warm shower, it's a significant cardiovascular challenge. The heat dilates the blood vessels in your legs, and without the pumping action of your leg muscles from walking, gravity causes blood to pool in your lower limbs. This is called venous stasis. The result is less blood returning to the heart, a subsequent drop in blood pressure, and a critical reduction in blood flow to the brain. That feeling of becoming lightheaded or foggy after standing for a while in the shower isn't just getting older. It is a physiological warning that your brain is being deprived of oxygen. But the danger doesn't stop there. When blood pools and becomes stagnant, especially in individuals over 65, it is far more likely to form clots. This is the same principle behind deep vein thrombosis DVTs on long airplane flights. A clot formed in the leg can travel to the lungs, causing a pulmonary embolism, or to the brain, causing a stroke. I treated a proud, fiercely independent retired mail carrier, Mr. Peril Dawson, who loved his long 20-minute standing showers. One morning, he fainted. A clot, formed in his legs from prolonged standing in the heat, had traveled to his brain. He survived, but he never regained full use of his left arm. I didn't feel a thing, he told me, just a little dizzy, then nothing. The solution is not about giving up. It's about being smarter. Use a shower chair. It is the single most important piece of safety equipment you can own. If you must stand, limit it to 5 minutes at a time. And march in place gently to keep your leg muscles contracting and the blood flowing. Now, let's consider sudden movements. Bending over quickly, twisting your torso, or reaching high above your head can cause dramatic and rapid shifts in blood pressure. In a body with stiff arteries and a slower response time, the brain can be momentarily starved of blood. This orthostatic hypotension is a leading cause of falls in the elderly. But in the shower, the risk is compounded. The combination of a sudden positional change and the already compromised circulation from the heat can be enough to trigger a TIA, or a full-blown stroke. A patient of mine, Ms. Gloria Bennett, a 76-year-old widow, bent down quickly to grab her razor. The next thing she knew, she was waking up on the floor. The sudden movement had caused a shower-induced stroke. The message is clear: move with deliberate grace. Slow down. Use a handheld shower head to avoid bending. Keep all your supplies within easy reach. These are not limitations. They are adaptations born of wisdom. Finally, we must address the invisible interaction between your medication and your shower. Many of the most common medications for seniors, blood pressure pills, diuretics, beta blockers, are designed to relax your blood vessels and lower your blood pressure. They are life-saving. But if you take these medications and then immediately step into a hot shower, you are creating a powerful multiplier effect. The medication is already lowering your blood pressure, and the heat from the shower is lowering it even further. This double whammy can cause your blood pressure to plummet to dangerous levels, leading to fainting, falls, and strokes. The rule must be absolute: wait at least 1 hour after taking any heart or blood pressure medication before showering. This gives the medication time to absorb and your body time to stabilize. Have a light snack, drink water, allow your system to adjust gently. Mir. Dennis Morgan, a patient of mine, suffered a stroke from this exact scenario. I thought I was doing everything right, he said. I didn't realize I was walking into a trap I had set for myself. After all these warnings, you might be feeling anxious, wondering if it's even safe to shower at all. The answer is a resounding yes. But you must stop treating your shower as a casual routine and start treating it as the significant physiological event it is for an aging body. A safe shower is not about deprivation, it's about preparation. It's a slower, more mindful process that begins long before you turn on the water. So let's create your new blueprint, the Drewster Claire Mitchell method for a stroke-proof shower. Step 1: the gentle awakening. Never leap from bed to bathroom. Upon waking, sit on the edge of your bed for 1 full minute. Then, drink a glass of room temperature water. If you take morning heart or blood pressure medication, this is when you take it. Now, the clock starts. You will wait 1 hour before showering. Use this time to eat a light breakfast: a piece of toast, a banana, some yogurt. This stabilizes your blood sugar and blood pressure. Step 2. Crew the environment check. Before you get in, prepare your space. Place a non-slip mat inside the tub. Have a rubber-backed bath mat on the floor. Turn on the ventilation fan or crack open a window. The goal is warm, comfortable water, never hot or steaming. Test it with your wrist, not your hand. Step 3. The seated shower. A shower chair is your throne of wisdom. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. Keep your soap, shampoo, and a handheld shower head within arm's reach, so there is no need for twisting or bending. Step 4. The mindful movement. Wash one part of your body at a time, slowly and deliberately. If you need to wash your feet, bring your foot up to you. Don't bend down to it. If you drop something, leave it. It's not worth the risk. You can retrieve it safely after your shower. Step 5. The gentle exit. When you refinished, turn off the water and remain seated for a moment. This allows your blood pressure to readjust. Dry yourself off as much as possible while still sitting. Use your grab bars to stand up slowly and deliberately. Step out onto the secure bath mat and wrap yourself in a warm towel. This might sound like a lot of steps. It might seem like it takes the spontaneity out of a simple shower. But I ask you, what is the value of that spontaneity compared to the value of your independence? What is an extra 30 minutes in the morning compared to months in rehabilitation? The hard truth is that our bodies after 60 do not play by the same rules. The blood flows differently. The pressure shifts faster. The brain requires more care. No one gives you a new instruction manual on your 65th birthday. You have to write it yourself. That dizziness, that slight stumble, those are your body's footnotes, its quiet edits, urging you to revise the chapter. You have survived so much in your life. You have weathered storms and celebrated triumphs. That strength is still within you. But now, it must be channeled not into defiance, but into wisdom. A safe shower, a steady hand, a thoughtful pause, these are the new tools of your strength. They are the choices that protect your memories, your mobility, your voice, your very essence. This is not about being paranoid. This is about being powerful. Because your daily habits, the ones you consciously choose to control, are the most potent medicine you will ever take. So tomorrow morning, I want you to pause at your bathroom door. And I want you to ask yourself, am I honoring the body that has carried me this far? Am I creating safety? Or am I walking into danger simply because it's what I've always done? You hold the power to save your own life. You just have to know where the real risks are hiding. And now, you do. Thank you for joining me on this important journey. If you learned something valuable today, please share this video with someone you love. It could be the most important message they hear all year. And let me know in the comments one small change you plan to make. Let's support each other. Stay safe, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.